Okay, sorry, they moved my record button and I was having a hard time finding it, which happens to me every once in a while. So, okay. Well, welcome to the Marais District 4-H Club Leader Training for January 30th. I am Karla Hightower, 4-H Youth Development Agent for the Marais District, and thank you all for joining us. This will be recorded so you can go back and listen to it if miss a topic, or if one of your co-leaders or another leader needs to do it. I will be trying to monitor chat, and feel free to break in with questions whenever you have them. So I will ask for questions periodically as well. Okay, so kind of what we're going to talk about today is, of course, our 4-H presentation day and 4-H regional presentation day. We're going to talk about 4-H meeting responsibilities and expectations, and this is kind of a members and officers and parents as well. We're bringing back Touch a Truck, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. I wanted to give you kind of an overview of Cloverbuds because I know we have some new leaders who maybe don't have a real good grasp of what our Cloverbud program is, and especially our countywide Cloverbud clubs that meet. We're also going to talk about scholarships because I think that's another thing that until you have a senior, a lot of our club leaders don't really know about that, and it's good to start prepping earlier than as a senior in high school. I am going to talk about 4-H online leader access. So I'll kind of go over that a little bit. The big thing on that is I don't have a way of really going into the program and showing you how to do that. So I'm going to walk you through kind of the guide for that. And then I'll talk about YQCA and tagging, deadlines for our animal projects. And then we have Miami County Fair updates for those of you who are Miami County 4-H club leaders, because there's quite a few changes for Miami County Fair. And there'll be more coming down the pike. And then there's also quite a few changes for Kansas State Fair, but I don't have all those yet. I just was told of a few of them. And until they actually give me their guidelines, I can't do anything with that. So there might be several changes coming down from the state and other things. So, all right. So that's kind of what we're going to do. I did want to just start out because I know I do it at the end, but sometimes you guys hop off maybe before. So, for some people, volunteering is all about giving. For 4-H volunteers, it's a way of living. And thank you all for all you do to keep our Marais District 4-H program going and to help the youth of our 4-H youth, because we could not do it without you. So, with that, yeah, thank you very much. Okay, so with that, we're going to 4-H presentation day, formerly called 4-H day or club day. It is February 17th. It'll be down here at Prairie View Middle School. We are doing things a little bit differently this year on a couple things. We have an 8 a.m. setup, and anybody who wants to come and help set up would be welcome because we're going to be setting up all the rooms at that same time. So it would be helpful, and it also gives you, as the person Rebecca who we're talking about purple seals, it's a check mark on your seal application if a club member comes and helps that, because they would be on the 4-H club day or presentation day committee. And also, it's a pin application check mark as well, or a record book if you're doing record books. So any of those can also all help. We will probably have an 8:45 to 9 a.m. start on most rooms for judging. And then after the room's done, we'll have to put the rooms back together. So we could use some help with that as well. We will have sign up for times. We'll be out February 2nd, and it'll be due back to us by February 8th. So we can get those schedules kind of out to everyone. And clubs will sign up to monitor rooms at this time. And part of that's because in the last few years, we've been doing some different room arranging, and we want to be able to make sure that we kind of have times for you and that type of thing. I know that's going to be a quick turnaround, but I'm hoping it will help and work. We'll see. If not, we'll go back to the other way. And I will be honest, I know that like Linn County clubs I think this year you're going to be asked to sign up as a club for Linn County clubs as well. And they will have 2 rooms as well at our club presentation day. And registration is due tomorrow by midnight. So if you've not registered your 4-H presentation day, or if you have kids and people out, we tried to send out in our email, and we've tried to put several posts on Facebook for that. So hopefully everyone's getting the message. But today or tomorrow is the last day. So get that done. We are down in numbers so far, but we'll see because I know everyone's last minute. Regional presentation day is going to be March 23rd, and it is at Paola High School this year. So we are going to be really close. So I hope that means we have good participation. For those of you who might not realize this or are newer to the program or not participating in 4-H presentation day, at our 4-H presentation day at Prairie View Middle School, we will actually give top purples in categories. And those are the people who can go on to regional and they can compete against the top purples from Johnson County, Douglas County, Frontier District, Shawnee County, and Wyandotte County. So it's just kind of another competition basically for those top people, 4-Hers who have received top awards. You do have to sign up at our 4-H presentation day is the best time to sign up. So if you are available on March 23rd and you think you can go, even if you don't know for sure if you have a purple, we will have a sheet basically there that you can sign in and say, yeah, I'm willing to go. If we've already got your top purples, we'll have a sheet where we list all the top purples and you can circle yes or no if you can go. We do alternates because a lot of times we have top purples who already have something planned for that day or cannot make it. And so those alternates will then get contacted. You do have to let probably Kendra, actually, I say us, but Kendra will be the one who will need to know that if you're going by February 23rd, because we have to get those numbers in and then sign up times will come out February 28th and close March 8th, I believe, if you get to go. So, and they'll do that just like we kind of do ours with the Sign Up Genius. They'll have the number of basically each room divided out on what's in each room and then a number of slots, and you'll get to pick your times depending on how quick you get on there. So anyway, any questions about presentation days, either our district 4-H presentation day or the regional presentation day? Okay. All right, moving on. Kind of talked about this where I went on to Michigan. It was Michigan State University that has a 4-H meeting responsibilities and expectations. And, I'm a big believer that if we tell what we expect from members and from people, we are more likely to get that back. And I'm not saying that you have to do all of these, but I wanted to kind of bring it to your attention because it might be something you want to sit down with your officer team, probably not maybe this year, but next year before you start planning your program and say, what are our expectations of a member? Now, we can't actually require participation in meetings and things like that, but these aren't necessarily requirements. These are just kind of our basic, what we would like to see happen. And so that's kind of where we're at on that. So, it's like a member could attend and participate in more than half of our educational experiences each year, whether that be your meetings or whether that be all the other educational experiences that you maybe replace meetings with. We want them to complete at least 2 projects each year, definitely at least one. They have to have one. It'd be nice to have 2. We'd like them to participate in at least one county or state event each year. Hopefully, and I would say besides the county fair. So, those type of things. Also that they have a chance to participate in project group meetings for each project they're enrolled. Now that is a lofty goal. It probably is not happening, but even if we can get project meetings for, our bigger projects, that would be great. We want them to have input in the process of planning the club program. So, we talk about officers doing that, but it'd be good to even, have a survey or have them brainstorm some ideas of what they would like to do throughout the year. And we want them to be able to recognize life skills and choose experiences that foster that development. And I don't think anything's on here, but I know it's on a couple of the others. And, also to actually participate in community service projects, which is kind of our educational experiences, but any of those type of things as well. So that kind of gives you a baseline of some of the things you can put on there. Go over it with your 4-H members at the beginning of the year and, see if that helps actually bring a little bit more participation and gives them some expectations and some things to actually go for. And these are all things that would also be on our PIN applications. So they can also receive member PIN awards by doing these things. So in addition, as I always say, the one thing I think is unique about 4-H is it's not just a youth organization, it's a family organization, because we really want parents and guardians involved as well. So our club would be stronger if each parent or guardian understands the parent guardian role in supporting project work by members at home. So that means that, occasionally you're not going to have a project leader for that project. Some of our projects are very individualized and maybe there's only a couple of people in the whole district that's in them. So they're going to have some support at home. The other thing is to receive and reviews regular communications about the club program and activities, and even the county program, district program. So that would be like newsletters, checking Facebook pages, all of those things, because, we try to communicate in many different ways. We never reach everybody. Sometimes that family has to take it on themselves to try to find the information too. And if not already a screen volunteer, hopefully they can become a volunteer, have a volunteer role, and complete the volunteer screening process. We want parents and guardians to have input in the process of planning the program as well. We want parents and guardians to help youth meet deadlines for activities and enrollment. We want to make sure that they review the code of conduct and go over it with their youth. I think this is the most important thing, and something that sometimes people are afraid to do is ask questions they have, especially new families. I don't know how many times I get a call and they're like, I'm sorry, I'm asking this question. It's probably a stupid question. There's really no stupid questions. And I would much rather have questions asked of me than me have to say afterwards, no, I'm sorry, we can't allow that to happen. So I know sometimes new families don't always know what questions to ask, but try to have, ask questions, encourage time. And then I think the other thing is to help other families, especially new families, feel welcome. We want to be inclusive and we want to have a welcoming environment. And it's important that your clubs actually make, new families and all the families feel welcome. And maybe that's actually having a couple of parents or volunteers who are new family coordinator type things, and maybe they go up and sit with families. So with some of the newer families, check in with them at meetings, sit with them at meetings, and make sure that they kind of understand what the process is and what you're talking about when you talk about 4-H presentation day. I mean, that was one of the reasons we changed the name, is so people would actually maybe have an idea of what it is, but it's still a very broad concept for what we do, because we do so many things at 4-H presentation day. And sometimes, those new families might need a little bit more help with that. So your club would also be stronger if each officer or team leader set achievable goals for themselves each year, receives guidance in planning for the project or role they have accepted, which would be officer training. But we know that officer training touches briefly on it. That doesn't mean they don't need some more mentorship or guidance throughout the year. We want them to have an experience in which they can grow in leadership at a county, state, or even a national event. So if they can go to a different event, just like our club members, we would love them to give leadership to one or more component of your club program. And when I'm talking about components, I'm talking like maybe they're planning a couple of them, or a team of them is planning a community service, or a speaker bringing in, or one of your educational, field trips, anything like that, project meetings at your club meeting, anything like that. So if they can do some of that, that helps. We want them to meet with groups of other youth leaders for learning and growth. And when I'm talking about, one of the quick ways of doing that is our leadership teams in both areas for those that are 12 and over, I believe, or 13 and over. And that's a great way to kind of get involved and get some of those learning and leadership opportunities at a county level. We wanted them to have a sense of belonging to the leadership team and that they are committed to the 4-H program. We do want them to understand what 4-H life skills give and help members plan to develop those life skills. We want them to have the opportunity to assume additional responsibilities with increasing leadership experience. So that would be like, going for 4-H council presidents and representatives, or being assistant project leaders, fair assistants, all those. And of course, we want them to be a role model for our younger members. I know that was one of the other advantages of 4-H, besides being a family thing, is that we have 7 to 18-year-olds in our clubs. And so I know those 7 and 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-olds look up to your teen leaders in your club if you have teen leaders, which luckily most of our clubs do. But and that's always a good thing, and they need to remember that as well, because there's always somebody kind of watching them and seeing how they're acting and wanting to be just like them. So that kind of goes to if your responsibilities and expectations of your club, and these really kind of go along with our SEAL app recommendations. So I didn't plan this, Rebecca, but it kind of goes along with your purple seal thing. So you want to make sure you're holding at least 9 educational opportunities each year. And as we've been talking for the past year and a half, 2 years now, they don't have to be meetings. They just have to be educational opportunities. So if you don't have business to run, you don't have to conduct a full business meeting. You can have, I would say we probably need at least a roll call of some kind. And then going into, you can have a guest speaker, you can go on a field trip, you can do a community service project, you can have project meetings, you can do a lot of things, judging clinic, whatever you want to do. So that's really broad, opens it up. But the main thing is that you're having fun and you're giving them some educational opportunities. We want to make sure your clubs conduct a program planning process in which all members and leaders are actively involved. We want you to plan at least one community service learning activity each year. More would be great. And I know most of our clubs do more of that, and that's great. Of course, you'll have to do fundraising. However, it's not on this list, but fundraising, if needed, you do have to have a plan for your fundraising, though. You have a program plan for the year with goals for the year and for each meeting. The club that works with members to ensure that educational knowledge is gained by the members in the project for which they are enrolled. And then you want to encourage members to enroll in more advanced phases of projects that they already have completed. And this is, I kind of phrase this weird because of being Michigan State, but in our case, it's not necessarily advanced phases, but it's to continue to advance your project. So like if you're a foods member and you've been in it for 5 years, you probably need to make something besides cookies or a trail mix. You need to be working up into maybe some yeast breads or pies or cakes, or something with a little bit more technical skill. And that's kind of what we're talking about there. Or if you're doing woodworking, you might need to go into a different project, just continue to explore and develop skills within that project and continue to grow those skills. We also want clubs that welcome and encourage new members and new families. And like I said, we want them to be inclusive. Just a reminder, all of our clubs are open to all members without regard to race, color, national origin, gender, religion, age, height, weight, disability, political beliefs, sexual orientation, marital status, family status, or veteran status. So, we're federally funded and state funded. And so we're open to everyone, and we can't discriminate. And then we want you to provide opportunities to reflect on goals and accomplishments as a club, and then also to complete all your required paperwork each year. which really is only the financial reviews, a club leadership report in the fall, usually do October 1st, which is basically just tells your leaders when you meet, and also your officers, and then your club seal application. And even if it's not a purple seal, that's okay. It's basically, the club seal application is basically all about setting goals for your club and trying to meet those goals. And if you don't succeed this year, just like in 4-H, you just try again next year. And it's okay. It's not a big deal on that. Okay. Any questions about that? Because I went through that pretty fast. Okay. All right. So like I said, Touch a Truck is back. It's going to be April 6th at the Miami County Fairgrounds this year. We're doing 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We will need a club to do a concession stand. If you want to do any kind of a booth or activity for that day, we'd be welcome that as well. You can contact me about both of those things. And then a little bit closer, probably there in March, we'll be trying to get some volunteers. Basically, gate and station attendants is a volunteer. And we usually do them in about 2-hour increments. So like 10 to noon, or 1 to 2, or 12 to noon, or noon to 1, noon to 2. I cannot talk, sorry. So that is that. We're just now getting it started and getting it off the ground. So it's gonna be a quick turnaround, but hopefully we'll have some good weather, and being in the fairgrounds, we will be able to be inside on part of the activities and that type of thing. So, but we will also have stuff, because the machinery and trucks and things will still have to be outside. All right, so Cloverbuds. Cloverbuds are for 5 to 6-year-olds. It's a way to explore projects that you can take in 4-H, especially how we run our Cloverbud meetings that we have. We have a Lynn County meeting on the first Thursday of each month from 5:30 to 6:30 at the 4-H building. And we have a Miami County meeting on the second Thursday of each month from 5:30 to 6:30 at the Paola office. Like I said, at those meetings, we are exploring projects. So like here in March, we are doing, or not March, February. I'm getting ahead of myself. In February, we're doing visual arts. In March, we're going to do geology. So we'll have rocketry, bicycle, animals, foods, lots of those different topics. And we try to kind of basically give them an idea of maybe some of the things they would like to take in 4-H. A couple things on Cloverbuds. Cloverbuds is non-competitive. It is activity-based. And so there's a couple different ways we can do it, because you can have Cloverbud activities at your club, but then again, any of your members who are Cloverbuds are also very welcome to come to one of our Cloverbud meetings in the district. And they can come to either one. It doesn't matter if they're a Miami County or a Lynn County 4-H member. If it works better for them to go to Paola on the second Thursday, that's okay. If it's better for them to go to the first Thursday at Lynn County, or Mound City, that's fine too. So, and any Cloverbud can come, even if they're enrolled in a community or project club. So just kind of get the word out. We're trying to grow that a little bit. We had a really good group last year, but some of the, as with any 5 and 6-year-olds, some of them turned 7 and moved on to regular 4-H clubs. And we do try to make sure, if they don't already have a 4-H club, we kind of direct them into trying to find out which 4-H club would be a good fit for them, and asking questions and getting into that. So it's a good way to start out for 5 and 6-year-olds. So if you know any 5 and 6-year-olds and would like to get them interested in 4-H, we have a lot of fun. It's a great time, and all 5 and 6-year-olds and parents. So it's a good time at our Cloverbud meetings. All right, going on to district scholarships. Those were due here in January, but I kind of wanted to give you guys a heads up, because we had a lot this year that actually applied, but we're noticing, I know that it's kind of hard to know what you need to keep, what records you need to keep. And I probably am going to try to do a 4-H explained video on this as well. probably might not get done for a couple months because I got a lot of different things going on in my plate right now, but we'll see where we get. So Miami County 4-H Foundation gives out at this year $6,950 in scholarships. That changes each year, but it's always around that 6,500 to 7,000, and it probably could grow. If the market does well, it grows, and we keep getting more. The other thing is people add to their scholarship totals because we have several that are endowed that people have basically said, we'll give you this money. Please use it on a scholarship in our name. Or like Master Gardeners give us a scholarship for people who are in the plant science, horticulture. Well, it's now horticulture and landscape design project. To apply for these, you must be a high school senior that is a 4-H member for at least 3 years. They can be used for college, community college, or vocational tech trainings, anything like that. It's basically based on 4-H involvement, and we really try a lot at the county club and county level. You get a little bit for state level, but we're really concentrating on club and county because that's where we feel like, or district in our case too, could work. That's where we feel like we're trying to reward kids that have done a lot in there. So some records to keep for scholarship applications. We go through and ask for member achievement pins and key awards. And part of the reason we do this is because that is a quick way to know that you're meeting certain requirements each year. So if you've gotten all, and that goes all the way back to your first, I mean, your member pin is listed on there. Did you receive it? So it's important. I would encourage members to fill those out because that's a quick way of getting some points for them. And like I said, it's just basically because there's certain requirements you have to meet for each pin. It helps you grow as you get older in 4-H. And it's a good way of, it's kind of our measuring stick of how active you really are involved, especially at the club level. They get points for club meetings and activities they've attended and offices they've held at the club level. They can also put down committees they've led. So if they're committee chair for your club, that actually could be a separate time, especially if they've met and things. Any service projects that they've done at the club level, or if they've led service projects. And then we talk about, they also can do district 4-H presentation day participation gets counted. And part of that is some of our endowed scholarships actually ask for, well, we want people with public speaking. The best way we know to know if you've done public speaking is by having you do it at presentation day. So a presentation at presentation day. So there's different things like that. It could be a talk, it could be a music. There's different scholarships that will qualify you for. Leadership teams, 4-H council, offices, meetings, service projects. If you're fair assistant or project assistants, project leaders in your club or at the district level. When I say fair assistants, that means you're helping with the judging of fair items at either fair. So if you're in Lynn County and you're helping with one of the shows, or you're helping with them judging in the 4-H building, that's, you can count that. Even if you're just a runner, taking people back and forth, any of those things. Project report forms that you submitted to the county. So that's your record books. You do get some of those. And especially, we ask actually if you've enrolled in projects and if you've submitted a project report form for those projects. And it's certain projects that is basically that, like Master Gardeners want people in horticulture. So we're trying to figure out, were you in horticulture, enrolled in the horticulture project? And have you actually, what all have you done in that? Did you complete a record book for it? If you were a Cloverbud assistant, so if you ever want to come and help with Cloverbuds, just let me know. We can use the help and you can count it here. Or if you're a day camp counselor, so if you come down and help with our day camps in either county in the summer. We also have, you can get points for district show participation. So if you're in the dog project and you go to the dog show, if you're in the horse project and do the horse show, if you are livestock and you're doing on one of the livestock shows in our district. Now, when we talk about district, we only count Miami and Lynn County. So you've got 2 show opportunities most of the time in those, so you can do either one. If you attend any state conferences, judgings, Kansas State Fair, serve on state committees for 4-H, state 4-H committees. Also, if you've ever been an IFE, so that's a 4-H International Exchange, and you can be a host or you can go with that. And if you need more information on that, let me know and I can get you hooked up with that at the state level. And then also, if you're a 4-H youth, 4-H, that's supposed to be 4-H Foundation youth member. And that's just you, I think it's like $10 a year that you pay to be a Miami County 4-H Foundation youth member. So that's kind of a breakdown on scholarships and kind of give you an idea as leaders, encourage your seniors to apply next year. We send it out to every senior basically that has enrolled in the project. Well, it was enrolled last year, so enrolled this year. When they become seniors next year, we'll send it out to everyone. And it's a online form. And then they usually get it around sometime in November, and they have until the second Monday in January to fill it out. So that's kind of it. And then, of course, the other thing is we also have Kansas 4-H scholarships as well. So it's not just those are our district level scholarships, but there's another online form that you can fill out and try to get Kansas 4-H scholarships as well. So there are quite a few opportunities for scholarships, and we've done a pretty good job of having some people get state level scholarships from the district as well. Okay, any questions on anything I've covered so far? Okay, so 4-H online leader access. Leaders must be enrolled as a club leader and be active or approved for the current year. So hopefully you have all went into 4-H online, into your family account, and enrolled yourself as a leader and made sure you got approved. And Kendra will have to give you access. Once you've done that, you can email Kendra and she will give you access, or if you email me, I will make sure that Kendra gets it as well. And we can give you because there's a code that we have to give you. Now, I don't think the code changes every year. So if you have one from last year, it probably will still work. But we do have to go in and check a box that says we allow you to have access and you are a club leader. So that is kind of where we're at on that. So how to get access. So you're going to log in to 4-H Online with your email address and password. And when we give you the code, we usually send this out with it as well. So then you're going to click the view button next to your profile and click on the clubs tab in the navigation pane. And so down on this side, basically, I don't know if you can see my, I think I should get a good pointer. All right, so like on this side of the thing will be this list here. And that's where you click on 4-H in the club tab. So there's the clubs right here. Okay. Oops, let me erase that. Okay. Okay, so then once you've got in you click the club that you wish to view, because some of you will have could have more than one, because we could do this for, I think, Rabbit Club as well, or a project club if you're involved with that as well. So you'll click that manage. This is where you'll put that pin, and that's what we will actually send you an email that has that pin. We do not get to pick those pins anymore. They are generated by the program. So we have to give you those pins and let you have those. And then you should be able to view limited information for each member. So you should be able to basically see what their enrollment process for the current program year, what their enrollment status is, and you're basically wanting them to be approved or payment due. because I know at the state level, we're still waiting on some that have payment due. If they're waiting review, that means they've turned in their enrollment and they're waiting on our offices to approve them. And Julie does that in the Miami County office. So she's only there 3 days a week. So basically it's done Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And I believe Carolyn does it in the Mound City office. So you might be waiting on that again. If they say they're incomplete, that means they have not submitted it for review. And if they're a returning member right now, that means they would probably not be able to show at fair. The only way would be sometimes we've been having a little bit of an issue with payments going through, and if they completed everything but the payment and something happened there, we'll figure that out. So, and then, yeah, so I think that's pretty much and payment due means that that they've completed their enrollment, but they have to send a check in to this Kansas 4-H office. And when they receive that, they will go from payment due to approved. Okay, so that's kind of your 4-H online. I know that's kind of not the best way of doing it. I really wish I could have actually got into 4-H online and show you exactly how to do it, but I have a different access than you, and I do not have club leader access. So anyway, any questions on that, I guess? Okay, getting closer to be done. So YQCA, the payload trainings, this is required for all 4-H and FFA members who plan to show breeding, market beef, sheep, goats, swine, and you must attend one training or complete the online training. So we have 4 different ones in Paola. We start here on March 12th at 10 a.m. We have a 2 p.m. one at March 12th, an April 17th, and a May 29th. And the 17th and 29th, April and May is both at 6:30. And then we have Mound City. They have March 27th at 6:30 and June 11th at 2:30 p.m. You can attend either county's one, so but you do have to make sure that you have registered online at the YQCA website to get those done. And like I said, you can also do the online training as well. So if you can't make any of those, you'll have to go online and finish that up. Tagging, Miami County's beef tagging will be March 17th from 5:30 to 7:30 or 7 p.m. Lynn County's is the same date from 5:30 to 7 p.m. So both are on March 17th. For goats, sheep, and swine in Miami County, it's May 5th from 4 to 8 p.m. And in Lynn County, it's May 3rd from 4 to 8 p.m. We do have the Marais 4-H family guide and policy, and it's out on our website. It's also been attached to, I think, all of both Miami County and Lynn County 4-H pages on Facebook. But that has all the requirements. It has the whole sheet. It kind of tells you what requirements are for breeding, what requirements are for swine, for each county. It's a nice chart. So I would definitely encourage, we also try to send it out to people as they enroll in 4-H, at least in Miami County. I know it's getting done. I think it's getting done in Lynn County as well. So that's a good way to know what those requirements and what our deadlines are for livestock. And I also have in there rabbit and shooting sports deadlines and all of those things. So poultry, anything like that. Okay, so Miami County Fair update. The Miami County Fair Board met on last Thursday, and there's several changes that they made. So we have changed the 4-H dog show, and it is only 4-H. It's not going to be open class anymore, and it's going to be on Saturday the 13th. And this will be agility, showmanship, rally, and obedience all together. We have also switched Wednesday to bucket calf interviews have moved up, and the bucket calf show is moved up because the beef show moved to Thursday evening at 6 p.m. With that change, we had to move the auction to Saturday morning, and auction forms will be due at 10 p.m. on Thursday. So you'll need to make sure you get those in to your superintendents and on the auction forms for that. But those are kinds of changes. We will have more changes. Caitlin and I am trying to do, Caitlin and I think we're going to do like a little video Zoom call, something about that with Miami County 4-H members or families to talk about all the changes this year. But we're kind of waiting to finalize a couple more and get some details. And then, like I said, there's quite a few changes to state fair as well. And so we'll be talking those over too. And I might talk with Abby and Franny and see if we want to do a video or a Zoom as well with Lynn County 4-H families. So that is that. And the one thing I forgot to put on here, I see I have questions, but I did forget to say when our next club leader Zoom is, which I believe it's in April, and I'll get the date here in just a second. Okay, our next club leader Zoom will be April 30th at 7 p.m. on. So are there any questions, any concerns, anything we need to talk about?
Hey, Karla, it's Teresa. On the Touch a Truck, what kind of things are you looking for the clubs to do? You mentioned the volunteers, but like, do you want us to have displays or booths? Do you want us, would we be able to do fundraisers? What are you looking at? Or craft ideas or activities, like
Okay.
anything 4-H related, or is it more just geared towards truck things?
Well, we actually do so my goals for Touch a Truck is it's two things. It's to promote agriculture, and then it's also to promote careers. And that's kind of where we get some of the trucks and health and safety, I would say, because that's why we have the policemen there, that's why we have the fire trucks, that kind of thing. And then some of the other trucks are just for kind of to give them an idea of maybe because some kids might want to be a truck driver or deliver propane or those type of things. So that's kind of where we're at. As far as booze, we probably can't do a lot of fundraising. The only fundraising would probably be the refreshment booth. Although we did talk about maybe being bake sale type things, because I don't know that you really need food. Really a food thing, more snack food type stuff would work, and we can kind of talk about that. But the other thing is, if you have a craft or something, especially something agriculture related, I know we've had like the soybean commission come down and do something on a demonstration on soybeans. We've had the corn commission come down. I think they did the germination necklaces where they put like some water beads in a necklace in a plastic bag with a corn seed and you sprout it. If you have anything like that, if you have some craft things, yeah. We don't want it to be the one thing about Touch a Truck is we're really trying to make it family friendly and budget friendly. We don't really charge, we don't charge admission except we ask for food donations to our food banks. But if you don't bring it, that's okay too. So yeah, we're trying not to make it a sale thing, but any kind of educational activity or it could be a community service thing. Yeah, we could definitely do that. Does that help?
Yeah, that's helpful. I just kind of wanted to know what the scope was, so that way I could take it back to the club and see if they
They're
want to do.
interested.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we've done that, like we've handed out seed packets and stuff for flowers or vegetables at the farm tour.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, I'd like, I mean, it could work for that as well.
Yeah, and I mean, and a 4-H promotion booth wouldn't be a bad thing. That would go right along with our theme too. So yeah, anything you've done at the farm tour would be fine.
Okay.
Yeah. And of course, if we can get some hands-on activities, that would be better. But yeah. The one thing about the seed packets is I know we'll have Master Gardeners with their Seeds for Kids program there too. So but yeah. So that might be a little too much similar.
Yeah. What about like a petting zoo or something like that?
We are looking for a petting zoo. So if you guys are interested in that, I was going to talk to Jeff and Jennifer Haley, but if that's something your club's interested in doing, I'm sure we could have, I'm sure they would, any animals would be helpful. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'll take it back. We've got our meeting the 10th of February, so I
Okay.
can share it with them there. Thank you.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you. Any other questions or?
Yeah, Carla, on that same topic. So where are the trucks actually going to be? Are they going to be over by the soccer fields or?
No, we're actually, the idea is to put them in between the buildings, like
Okay.
along because we're trying to do a wind block and try to get it in case there's not nice weather. So hopefully that way there'll be nice weather. So we're thinking building 2 and building 3 will be our main, kind of buildings for booths and things and activities. And then the trucks and equipment would kind of park kind of along building 3 and up between building 3 and building 2, and maybe even in the show arena. Some of the smaller stuff could go in there, things like that. So,
Okay. Because you mentioned a building and I was trying to figure out how that works. Okay, thanks. That's
and part
helpful.
of it, we're going to use building 2 for the main building. We were thinking about putting the corn pit actually on the concrete in building 3, because then we could sweep the corn up a little easier. So, yeah. So that's kind of our thoughts there.
Would the concessions be in the concession stand there then?
They could.
Okay.
That would definitely be a possibility. Probably the easiest thing.
Yeah.
And as far as concessions, I'll just take I'll send this out to everyone, but it'll be the first club that says they would like to do it, basically. Unless you're doing different things. Like, I guess, somebody could have a popcorn booth and somebody else could have a baked goods booth. Any other questions? Okay. I have another little thank you. So thank you all for joining us, and thank you for all the work you do to keep our 4-H programs going and our 4-H clubs going. As always, if you have any questions or need any help, please contact me or Abby or Kendra, and we will help you try to figure this out. So thank you all. Have a good evening, and I will see you on Zoom on April 30th, hopefully.
Thanks, Carla. Have a good one.
Thanks, you too.